everyone, thank you for joining me, Wendy Anderson, justbe.me. An interesting one this morning, hopefully you'll find. So, just been out for a walk and to help alleviate kind of like whatever's been going on with me as well. So if you're a person like me that is just sensitive to absolutely everything, sometimes you can get the feeling of overwhelm. For me, yeah, just a lot of things are feeling overwhelmed at the moment. So being around certain people can be overwhelming, being in certain places can be overwhelming. Not even kind of like eating certain types of foods can make me feel a little bit overwhelmed. But there are periods where I can just literally be anywhere with anyone and eat whatever I like, absolutely fine and dandy. This is the time of year, winter, where it's to kind of like step up with the self-care really. And looking at pathogens, over the last God knows how many years or whatever in people, there are kind of like peaks and troughs and influxes. In the winter months, the pathogens are higher than in summer months, whether that's something to do with we've got more sun in summer months. So we've got more UV light in order to clean pathogens out of the reservoirs. So municipal water supplies do tend to be a little bit cleaner in the summer months anyway rather than the winter months. The 1st of February seems to go through a chlorination period, so the water becomes chlorinated. That kills off a lot of the pathogens. So celebrate if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed at the moment and don't really know why. It could be a pathogen based overwhelming the body. So even insomnia can be an overwhelming pathogens and toxins as well. So it's to take the time to keep the body as clear as possible. So eat foods that don't have a list of chemical ingredients on. It's not rocket science. If it comes from the ground or plucked from a tree, then taste the rainbow. It's going to be okay. Obviously summer months you could probably a little bit more kind of like relaxed about this, which is absolutely fine. Water, I would suggest some kind of filtration system. Berkeley's really really good, and you can take them anywhere, wherever you are. We've got a 7 filtered osmosis system that goes throughout the whole house, so you've got to think as well that you're showering in this water. Does it take out everything? No, not really. But there is nothing really that can take out absolutely everything, unless you were to live in the middle of the rainforest and shower in waterfalls and drink from waterfalls. That is probably the only clean water on the planet. Over the years, I've been testing all bottled water. I've been testing kind of what's in the skies. So I've got a really good idea of, what we're exposed to on an annual basis, which does peak and trough. Okay, asbestos. Now, asbestos normally I find in the environment and people, normally about 1st of June, 1st of July. And this is the bizarre thing about these things. It literally is the first of the month that they appear, just in the environment, just in people. So it's really odd to think, why all of a sudden do toxins suddenly appear at the first of the month? Why all of a sudden do certain pathogens suddenly appear? Like the influx of influenza pathogens always used to be around the second week September. Used to find it in people and municipal water supplies. So it does beg the question as to what is behind the peaks and troughs. Is there something that is triggering a peak and trough? Fascinating. What I'm also finding at the moment is there seems to be high levels of asbestos around, not at the minute, but I'd say about a week or two ago. So I know when asbestos is there because I can feel it in the throat. And it just feels a little bit tickly, a little bit raspy, does the throat. Not like a normal sore throat where it's like a strep throat. It just feels like there's something, like you've swallowed a feather. And sometimes if you've got any kind of respiratory stuff going on, bronchitis, which is love-hate relationships with siblings or another family member, any other restrictions around work, family, whatever it is around love, then it can come up in respiratory system as well. So I'm finding it in lower bronchioles and air sacs, which is interesting. So how do I compensate for this? So this is a beautiful thing about finding these things out, that everything that we find, there's always a compensation for it. There's always something that we can do for it. So what I've also noticed as well since this asbestos has been around, now don't get me wrong, it might not be anything sinister. You've got to think that kind of retail places that we go in, I don't know if you've seen kind of like the air conditioning units that they've got the big square like metal box on up there. They have asbestos. They have asbestos in the filters in some of those. So again, it might not always be something sinister. However, what I am also finding is resistance genes. Now, these are just the names that my system gives to these resistance genes. So this is 6, 7 and 8 resistance genes. So these genes are our natural immune defense system, and what I've noticed is that our natural immune defense system is being a little bit compromised somehow, and it's these 3 genes or genetic sequences that are being compromised. So these genetic sequences ordinarily protect us from asbestos, from cytomegalovirus, influenzas, pneumonias, Coxsackie viruses, schistomas, which are blood flukes. So if you're getting up too quick and you're feeling a little bit dizzy, chances are you've schistomas. Top up your iron levels. So spirulina, really good source of iron. That will help. Just shuffle out the cystomas a little bit. Blood Alive, have a little bit of fun as well, which has been really difficult as well because you just want to hermit right now because, weather's crap, rain, wind, whatever. So you've not wanted to go out barefoot in the woods, so to speak. Also as well, what I'm seeing at the moment on a people platform is triggers and authentic expressions. So if we're not feeling authentic as well, it's kind of like it'll come up in the throat, and that may even come up as a respiratory restriction. And also as well, kind of like all those emotions about what we're feeling will also get stuck in urinary system. If it's getting held up in urinary system, it also may kind of like come up to kidneys, kidney infections, kidney stones. So again, authenticity, showing up authentically. So this is kind of like for those of you that are really sensitive at the moment and have had certain programmings around what's kind and what's unkind. You may not have been taught. You may have been taught that putting up a boundary is unkind to people, that you should be friends with everyone, should share with everyone. So basically you've been taught to live a life boundaryless. This is abandoning yourself, and this is so unkind to yourself. If we are abandoning ourselves and we are unkind to ourselves, then that's it, we are going to reflect that back at others as well. That will be unkind and abandon others. And I'm finding that kind of like in my own life at the moment, that however I'm feeling right now is reflecting back at my actions as to what is happening. So are you abandoning somebody, or feel like you're abandoning somebody, or feel like you need to abandon somebody in your life? Well, you maybe need to abandon another in order to turn up for yourself. It's okay to do that right now. Wherever you may not be putting up that vocal boundary of I just need space, in a constructive way, I just need space, you'll feel it in the throat. If you are finding it difficult to vocalize I just need space right now, then it may come up in kind of like this overwhelming explosion, volcanic, and it'll come up as anger, and it's kind of like I just need space. You know, it's still construction on some level, but it can also be destructive. But you know what? Honour where you are. You know, these are new territories that we're exploring. Honour exactly where you are. Love, accept yourself, and forgive yourself no matter where it is that you are. If you can honour your own triggers, if you can love yourself, forgive yourself and accept yourself for whatever is coming up right now in your reactivity, in your emotions, whatever it is, it will help. So your emotions are linked to pathogens. Pathogens are viruses, bacteria, and parasites. So our emotions are the things that attract the pathogens. So if we can do a little bit of housekeeping, so to speak, self-care rituals, anything like that at the moment, which is really honouring your authentic self. How is it that I'm feeling? Because this is reflective as to what is going on in your body, pathogen wise. So you've got a load of parasites. Where is it that you are allowing people to parasite off your energy? Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. So you can take all the cider vinegar in a world. You can, you know, kind of like pop them with bioresonance in the world, you know, all of it. Within a month, they're just going to be back again. But if you do the self-management and the self-maintenance of your boundaries, and boundaries are if you need to take time out away from people or places, then accept that that's what you need to do and action it. And this is you turning up for yourself, not abandoning yourself. So in 3D programming, you know, we've been taught to not have boundaries in order for to be here right now to learn about how to create boundaries. So it's all beautiful. We may be experiencing some people in our life that is we are feeling kind of like automatically that we are triggered by them, and we are wanting to put up a boundary up, you know, between ourselves and them. Beautiful. Honour where you're at right now. Put your boundary up. It's absolutely fine. But sometimes initially what we do is, if we're kind of like we've got to that point of overwhelm and anger, it's kind of like, right, my boundary's up, but you know what, I am still completely pissed off with that person, don't want them anywhere near me, don't want to be anywhere around them, completely done, over it, nope. Can you take a little bit of time? It's okay to feel absolutely all of that, all of it. But in addition to, because you are the scriptwriter of your life, you are the story creator, in addition to that, can you add a little bit of love to it? So right now, I am loving and honouring myself for everything that I am feeling and accepting everything that I'm feeling. Can I send a bit of love to that person? I'm still angry, and that's okay. But can I still send a little bit of love to that person? I wish them well. And you know what? If you're not feeling it in that moment when you're saying send some send some well-being and some love to that person, I wish them well, but you're still kind of like resentful, angry, that's absolutely okay. So if you keep saying it in the words, I send some love and well-being to that person, love and peace to that person, keep sending it, keep putting that intention in there, fake it till you make it, because eventually you will get to the point where it's kind of like, you know, that will become authentic, that you are sending well-being to that person and love to that other person that absolutely was frying your balls initially. So that's how we alchemize pathogens, alchemize relationships, become the creator in our life rather than the overwhelmed victim that is angry, resentful, unable to take responsibility for themselves, actions and creations. But all of it is beautiful, because all of it is just part of the teachings and part of the learnings. All of it is awesome. What else is going on? Metabolisms are coming up a lot as well at the minute, and it mainly so you've got your protein, carbs and fat metabolism, and what's flagging up at the moment is fat metabolism. So there are many of us at the minute we're taking on board too many fats that we can't metabolize it. And it's simply because when I see a fat metabolism disruption, it means that person is placed in a fat barrier up against themselves to protect themselves from another being that is subconsciously or consciously triggering, say, a fear response in them, or a guilt response, or something that just feels so uncomfortable. And they are not putting a boundary in place for that. So that's another signal about boundaries. Digestive system is definitely a signal of boundaries as well. And you'll feel tired, fatigued, no energy. And it's because basically nobody can take your energies. You can only choose to give them. So, but you can choose to put a barrier up against your energies. So soul contracts as well can come into this. So soul contracts, so cards to family members, family members that are soul level before we've all come incarnate, and you're just beautiful, energetic forms of light frequency. So you don't have physical form. But in that aspect of you, you are pure resonance of love frequency. So anything is possible. All possibilities are are potentials when we can get back to that state of our being. And you can access that just by knowing it. Right, I know who I am, what I am. I'm a being of love in my essence. That's it. Physical form is just an addition, part of this human miraculous life experience. So when we were bundles of love, so to speak, energetic forms of love, we agreed to hold soul contracts with certain family members. And it was in order for our soul to learn certain soul lessons. So you may have learned abandonment, rejection, and so in order for the other individual to hold such a low vibration and to turn up in a physical form in such a low vibrational field, you have agreed, because there's no judgment in lower high vibrational, whatever it is, they've needed to hold that contract and that vibration, that frequency, in order for them to show up in a certain way with actions, beliefs, behaviors, in order for you to just experience it. For them to say, right, we're in 5D now, and that feels mighty uncomfortable right now. Ooh, right, how can I make new contracts? Ooh, then that shines a light on remembrance, who you are and what you are. You are a creator being. You are a being made from the frequency of love. Brings you right back to your authenticity and your origins. So our family members who we've had difficult contracts with have had that purpose for you to wake up at this point. However, with the Earth's frequency and planet at the moment, you will have also come onto this planet with your own individual soul contract and soul purpose. However, it can feel so weighted when we say we've got a cord of attachment to another individual that is still performing the same action, beliefs, behaviours, because they are so immersed in the beautiful fulfillment of that contract in order for you to learn. Can we say in appreciation, grace, gratitude, thank you to our relative that has held that frequency in order for your soul to ascend? Without them, you wouldn't be ascending. So, if you are feeling resentment and anger to that individual right now, beautiful, feel it. Feel all that. That's absolutely okay. Accept it, love it, forgive it, all of it. It's beautiful. But also, can you place another addition onto that of gratitude and love for them holding the contract that they've held with you? So, endings of soul contracts. So it's very important to feel appreciative of the soul contract and the cord that was formed between you and the other soul. But now it's time to write anew, because you're probably feeling, right, something's coming in now, 2024. I'm feeling kind of like there's an energy of me showing up in this world in a certain capacity that I can't do with this cord attachment. So have a little space and time to yourself, a little meditation, close your eyes, take some nice deep breaths, get into that zone. Really difficult at the moment to kind of like find peace in the mind because of all the pathogens and toxins that are around. That's okay, that's fine. So take some time for yourself. Visualize all cards to individuals, and you'll know because you'll just feel it. If you can't feel it, then just ask, all cards that are no longer serving me, please place in a cauldron that is upon the fire. Saturn's fire. The cauldron is on Saturn's fire. I place 3D contracts within the cauldron for expiration. Thank you to the contract that has served me up until now, but now it is no longer serving me. I am the script writer and chooser of this experience. And move forward, write a new contract. Write a new contract, maybe in relationships without cords, that you are individuating, and you are individuating in order to heal from those old programs that you have experienced. And it's create a new contract. Oneness, wholeness, peace, clarity, courage, hope, faith, whatever it is that you want. Most importantly, divine love. Love. That's what you are anyway. Most importantly, always add love to any situation, no matter what it is. Can I find the love in it? If I can't right now, then I'll put a layer of love on top of it. That's absolutely fine to do that. So this is how we alchemize, or how we may or can choose. Like, I cannot give you formulas for your life. All I can do is put a light on the pathway that has helped me. If it helps anyone else, that's awesome. Even if it's just helped one person, that's awesome, which is, it's helped me. So I'm just sharing with you, my journey, because it may be of relevance to you. So this is how we can alchemize the energy, the current energies of the moment. So bat flower remedies that were coming up at the moment. So there's 4 bat flower remedies that are coming up for emotions at the moment. The first one is crab apple, which is for cleansing. Perfect time of year to do this, because we've built up all these pathogens and toxins kind of like over the winter months. Okay, so they want me to bring in, if you've been around people that has been vaccinated, can we place love and acceptance in that space? Because wherever we're in rejection of certain things, then we are judging it. Right, wrong, good or bad. And if you're in judgment, it's going to come up somewhere in your body to let you know. So you don't have to be around them. I'm not saying kind of like, if you're feeling kind of like certain people are a little bit scratchy right now in your energetic fields, it's okay for you to be boundaried. And kind of like, people will naturally drop away from your energetic field anyway, if so be it. So if kind of like you're just thinking, oh, I haven't spoke to such and such in God knows how long, check in with yourself, because your higher self may not want to bring that person back in for whatever reason. So just check in with that one. And again, you can kinesiology, those that pendulum it, or for those that can just feel it in the body, you can do the yes/no test by just standing there, and your body will either sway forwards or backwards. It'll choose one or the other to say yes or no. And you can program it whichever way that you want to do it. You can program it, so your body is your compass. Elm. So Elm is about support. Overwhelm So you may be feeling very unsupported and overwhelmed at the moment. And when you think about it, winter is a tough time because, those of you that are sensitive, you'll have been spending your time kind of like just, you love rituals and everything else. And it can get to the point where it's kind of like, do you know what? I'm doing all this and I'm still feeling, not quite right. So, yeah. And yeah, there is, kind of like theories that we are being slowly poisoned. There's a truth and a lie in all of it, shall we say. So the truth in it, um, yeah. But do you know what? You're bigger than that. You're better than that. You are a being of love that heals everything. Kind of like love is the frequency that all of these poisons, toxins, elements are coming from. Love is the trump frequency. It's the highest frequency in the universe of everything else. So it's kind of like, do you know what? I love that toxin. I love that poison. I'm going to add love to it. I'll accept it in my body. So what? My body does its stuff. I'm a being of love. It can handle it. Absolutely fine. Just knowing that can change the frequency of it. So it's just a reminder of who you are and what you are. Awesome. So poisons and toxins can be a reminder of who you are and what you are, and your own empowerment of what is possible. Beautiful. Mustard. So mustard is about flower remedy for sudden depression. It's come out of the blue from nowhere. Don't know what's going on, feeling depressed. Right, that is a call to boundary. That is a call to hibernate. That is a call to kind of like just go in self, Jesus 40 days, 40 nights kind of thing, where I am just alone. And it may be to detox mind, detox body, just detoxification and some hibernation. So anyone that's sensitive to energies at the moment, you'll just want to hibernate, and that's okay. Willow is self-responsibility. This is Bat Flower Remedy. So willow is a really beautiful bat flower remedy for those that have suffered adversity. And it could be financial adversity as well. A difficulty accepting their adversity without complaint or judgment of it. Adversity is sometimes a beautiful thing, and it's kind of like, well, where is it when I've experienced adversity? How can I accept responsibility for that? And I think this is going to be a beautiful energy for light workers to begin to step up. So it's judging life much by the successes it brings. So willow is, I have to be high vibing all the time. Whereas that's not actually how life works. Sometimes life brings adversity in order for the soul to learn. So if you're ill, you'll learn how to look after yourself and get better. If you are financially not well off, inform yourself, are there things that I can do? Are there better investments that I can make? And it could be investing in yourself. It could be investing in yourself that you inform yourself how to manage finances better. So willow is a beautiful one that enables us to kind of like, right, what changes do I need to make in my life right now? Where is it that I can turn up for myself right now? Where is it that I can take responsibility for it? Yeah, I've experienced it. Yeah, that sucked. But right now, I am the creator being. Where is my focus going? What is it that I want to choose? Again, beautiful. Reminds of who you are, what you are, being of love. All potentials are possibilities. And all possibilities are potentials. So, taking responsibility. So again, kind of like if you are in ill health at the moment, can you ask the question, have I been 100% looking after myself? And I know I can put my hand up and say no, because I felt like I've it got overwhelming looking after myself so much. So yeah, taking responsibility, mustard. And for those of you that have experienced adversities, kind of like in your lives and things like that, you know, when I get a soul that comes in, that, you know, some of the stories, you know, that you hear, and it's kind of like, I have this person in front of me and they're still alive. So any of you that has been through adversities, it's opportunity to celebrate that you're still here through everything that you've been through. You know, your stamina, your strength is unique and beautiful. Yeah, okay, right, okay. So I'm a bit of a mess because I've just been walking through the woods, and you know, a client sent me a message. Can you support and everything else? So it's interesting that kind of like the client consultation kind of like did follow on from. I get messages from trees. I know. So I kind of like I'll go into the woods and there'll be something that is unclear, and I'll go into the woods with the intention of, you know, um, every step that I make is in love with love, to the earth, and the earth is also reciprocating and gifting back love with every step. And she does feel so cleansed, kind of like after walking the lands. It's so beautiful, and being around trees feels so beautiful as well. And it's, I have conversations with them, and I ask them about their communities and how they survive in their communities and what they, you know, I know it's strange. So there's a lot of limbs strewn all over the woods today, you know, after the storms we've had and everything else. You know, the level of kind of like damage to some of the beautiful, beautiful old trees, old oaks and sycamores, you know, they're just beautiful. And I just came across this tree, and it literally kind of like, you know, its limb had been damaged, and fully severed, and another limb had come off, but it wasn't completely severed. But the way this tree was in the woods, with its injured limbs kind of all over the pathways, and it was just so beautiful. So in its injured state, on its traumatized state, there was just, you know, something unique about its shape, you know, something that you had to stop and look and listen to. And I think this is the reflection of light workers at the moment, in that, in fact, I'm going to do an extra video on this. I'm going to do an extra video, because this one might be getting too long and you've probably got to go pick kids up or do some washing up, ironing, whatever it is. You know, those human grounding things, stuff. So I'm going to put it in the next video for you, about my experience in the woods. So watch out for that. Take care. Bye. Love you all. See you soon.